Copa family, what is going on? We are out here in the waterfront. It's actually really nice. It's warm. It's hot. It's hot because I got my two friends with me here, Pat, Aaron, and we're going to give you guys a little Ligue preview. Guys, let's start with Neymar. Is that really the only storyline coming out of Ligue this year?
I think it's dangerously close to being the only story. I'm trying to look at the other things. I'm looking at Saint-Etienne, I'm looking at Lyon, but Neymar is just, it's grabbing all the headlines, and he's already off to a huge start.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to ignore Neymar because it's overshadowing everything. There's a little fella named Mbappe as well. But I think another cool storyline is Marseille. They're kind of like spending a little bit of money. They've got a lot of history, so it could be, but it's hard. It's really hard to ignore Neymar.
I mean, but what? Okay, I get it. It's Neymar, but what does it have to? To achieve success for him, it just seems like, you know, we saw with Pogba in the Premier League. It just seems like no matter what he's going to do, people are finally starting to shut up because he's got a team around him that's putting him in a position to succeed. But like for Neymar, it's going to be all goals and assists. Like his numbers, he's basically up against winning a Ballon d'Or will justify spending that much money. I mean, do you think that he can achieve what it is that they paid for him?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now they're easy favorites to win the league. They should have a decent team in Champions League, and I think in kind of a bigger picture, he's bringing a lot of attention to Ligue 1 now, where like a lot of people just, I think, weren't paying attention besides PSG, maybe Monaco last year. But I think it's now like he's going to have an effect on the league that makes it kind of, it elevates it a bit.
But outside the 200 million, right? Like Zlatan brought attention to the Ligue 1. I mean, he scored, 38 or something goals like that in Ligue 1, and he was an incredible player. And yeah, he didn't have that the level of transfer fee, but like in terms of like polarizing people and like that type of personality, he put Ligue 1 on the map every single week with his comments, with his play, with his goals, and it's just tough to think that like Neymar is going to do something so much bigger and better than that outside of how much he costs.
As someone mentioned this earlier, and I don't know if I totally agree with it, but there's a degree there. When Beckham came to MLS, it took MLS from like down here to at least on people's conscience. And I'm not saying Ligue 1 is like MLS because there's been brilliant players coming out of Ligue 1 for like generations. Not generations, decades though.
Yeah.
But
Thousands, at least 2,000 years.
Yeah, thousands of years Ligue 1 has been producing
For millennia.
players. Yeah.
No, I'm with you though. Like when Zlatan came, he was past his prime. We're getting, Neymar is coming to Ligue 1 right in the middle of his prime, like right when he's supposed to be winning Ballons d'Or. And this is a huge move, not just because he's in his prime, but he's coming from Barcelona. This is almost unprecedented. So I do agree with you. It's kind of like Beckham coming to MLS was a little bit different, but it's a big move, and it's gonna make a lot of waves.
I mean, I agree with that but what's different is that the league is a single entity league in MLS, right? So like you're controlling kind of everybody's benefiting from Beckham coming to MLS. Every team is benefiting because of the global exposure. Like Ligue 1 isn't new, it's not young, it's not fighting for, like it's fighting for market share within the big five, but like what are they gonna, they still don't have the attendances, they still don't have the fans necessarily compared to, I mean, you have the big clubs, you have PSG, Lyon could do something, Marseille could do something, but you still don't have, I mean, MLS was trying to push the whole league forward, and that's different than Ligue 1, right? You're still competing against Bundesliga, La Liga, which are just two different leagues that are going to offer something completely different. And, you know, in terms of its domestic league, yeah, it'll grow it domestically, but internationally, I don't see how it's relatable to the sort of the Beckham experiment as what I guess the book was written. But
the point is, there's teams in Ligue 1 with potential and like good brands and good history that why wouldn't you want to pump money into that instead of like, I don't know, a lower tier team in England or something like that.
Well, I mean, do you think the move for Mbappe is the right move? Do you think that going to PSG is the right one, as opposed to, you know, we know that his wages are, it's like triple the amount that they're going to pay him at PSG from what we know compared to what Real Madrid are going to pay him, but is it the right move?
If you're looking at it through, like we said earlier, which is the goal, a Champions League lens, if you're looking at it through that, it's like, yeah, of course. I mean, you're going to need more than just Neymar. And for Mbappe, for his career, why not? Go play with Neymar, go play with a team that's going to compete in Champions League. Should theoretically make a deep run, if not win it. So, I mean, in that perspective, I think it's a great move. For Ligue 1, yeah, it's like, it's lights out for the league.
I mean, I agree with that, and it's kind of back to your point. That's only going to be judged on winning the Champions League, though. Now, I think Neymar will be judged on whether he can score 50+ goals and be a Ballon d'Or
I like how we
winner
keep
personally.
upping it. It's like
But
35 goals, 40
no,
goals.
but
He's
like
got to
50,
score
50 I mean, you have to, right? It's a popularity contest
but
because
it's true.
Messi and
You gotta
Ronaldo
run
are going
the
to score
score up.
50+ across all competitions,
Yeah.
so they're going to have to. And that's his whole reason he moves is to get out from their shadows and kind of be his own man. But like that's going to be his individual achievement. But if Mbappe goes to PSG, they have to win the Champions League. That's the only mark of success because no one's going to be like, they really are competitive in Ligue this year. They're putting together a real good team. Or it's like, no, yeah, they're gonna, yeah, no. It's gonna be like if they lose more than twice, you're gonna be like, crap season, shit season, and they have to win the Champions League. And I think the pressure's on from year one.
I think as an 18-year-old, he's staying in his country. He speaks the language.
He's 18.
Yeah,
It's so
it makes
crazy.
no sense. I think it's a logical progression, but it's the right step for him.
But I think the thing that you hit on really well is the fact that like they're individuals, right? And we see the same thing here in the U.S. where it's just like you have young guys that come through the academies and they want to sign homegrowns because maybe they're very close to their family, maybe they get homesick, maybe they're not capable of going somewhere else. And you have other people who just jump overseas and it's just like no problem, right? There's no real culture shock. And then depending on what country you go to, what city you're in, you know, the community that you're in and how the club runs itself, right? There's so many factors, and obviously for Mbappe it's a little bit different because it's the magnitude. They're going to build a team around him to make sure he's comfortable and okay, but maybe deep down he wants to be close to his family. Maybe deep down he wants to be in Paris. And I think as much as like people hate how much PSG are spending, I think it's a nice transition for him to be comfortable, you know, his native language, around people that he already knows, French national team guys, and then be able to move on from there. I just don't know how he's going to get bought for that much and then not sold for double that in like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, at what point, like, where do the transfer fees go from here?
How is he going to fit in at PSG with Cavani and Neymar and all those great attackers?
It's Mbappe. How are they gonna work?
I know
with
he's
him?
Mbappe, but
like if you have a player so good that Draxler becomes surplus to requirements, and I think he will be the one to go because I've heard he's got attitude issues. If you watch him on the field, he's got body language issues. But when you watch him play, and you're like, damn, he's so good. He's so good too. But like Mbappe's better than him, right? So if you're talking about Draxler and Di Maria, it's like it's another level for him. He's going to fit wherever whether he plays high in the line or underneath the striker out on the wing in a 3 front system. When he takes off, he is a young Henry. Like you're like, this is magic. Like you just want to watch him play. So.
Yeah, I think it's bad news for Di Maria. It's bad news for Draxler because I think those two are the guys that are probably going to get out. Draxler for sure is probably going to leave. I think Di Maria probably will end up leaving. But in terms of just pure tactically where he fits, he's such a versatile player. Like we saw it last year with Monaco. He can play through the center, right behind the striker. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. Sometimes in one game, he's doing it all. Imagine being a center back or a defender, like, and you have to worry about Cavani, Neymar, and Mbappe. They're all so mobile and their movement is so intelligent. It's just a nightmare. Like, why would you? No, I'd quit.
Yeah, and like if Mbappe decides he wants to go to the left for a little bit, be able to drive inside, he'll do it. And Neymar will. It's not like Neymar's gonna be like, oh, what do I do now? No, he's just gonna go to the right and do the same thing he does from the left, but just kill people on the right-hand side. It's more of just like who's out instead of like where does Mbappe fit into the team? Because no matter what, he's gonna be a world-class player somewhere into your squad, you know? It's not gonna be like he can compete for a starting, if he keeps his head on right, he can like...
You know who I think is happiest about this? Cavani. Because both those guys love to pass the ball, both Neymar and Mbappe. They're both like really team-based players. They love to spread the ball around. And Cavani's surely just like, oh man, I'm gonna score 85 goals this year.
That's the thing though, is like, as much as Neymar is gonna score there, Cavani's going to score. He's going to score more than he did last year. He was in the 30s, I think, last year, like 32 or 34 or something like that. He's going to score even more this year because, guess what? You can't double team Cavani in the box because you have Neymar and you might have Mbappe and you might have all these guys, and it's just going to rain goals for everybody. Actually, this is my favorite league in the world.
You just decided right now. You know what? It's my favorite league.
Going to win the league. We can say that without it being a hot take, but I mean, where does Monaco fall into this? Where does, Marseille, where does Saint-Etienne, which you seem to be a huge fan of?
Just
or you
interested.
just wanted to say their name.
I'm just interested.
But I mean, let's talk about some of the other teams.
We talked a little bit about Marseille, like spending that money. They brought in some pretty interesting names. They brought in Luis Gustavo. They brought in Florian Thauvin. They brought in Clinton G. They brought in Valère Germain from Monaco. So they're like
Patrice Evra.
You're just saying. Are you just saying?
I'm just saying a
You're
lot
just
of
saying things with a
Are you
French
basically-
accent.
are you
You're not
basically
gonna
a Frenchman?
vaguely French-sounding names, and you guys will never know.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Just say it with the French
Those
accent.
guys eat poached eggs. Anyway, didn't they talk? The president was trying to like butter up Diego Costa into coming.
Yeah,
I don't know if
there's,
that's like
there's still a
actually
possibility.
possible,
I think he wants to bring in Diego Costa as well, and Diego Costa's just like out there floundering, like
Yeah.
nobody wants me.
He hasn't even showed up. I mean, he just wants to go to Atletico. So
Yeah.
whoever takes him, if he does go now, it'll be just for like 6 months. Like he's already like stated his
Wants Atleti real
yeah,
bad. Yeah,
never-ending love for Atleti. But like look at Nice for example. I mean, they still got Balotelli, who had a solid year. I think
We
in
got to talk
relation to
about
what
that.
he's-
Lucien Favre is not happy with that man. In the Champions League qualifiers, he was like, we were playing with like a man down because Balo was just walking around. He's not happy. And then you've got Seti, the guy who Barcelona apparently wants, and now is not going to get because they pissed off Nice. So now he's kind of in between.
Well, I don't know what Nice is going to do, but they were impressive last year, at least leading up before Alisson Plana got injured and was out for almost the remainder of the season. Like they were a really good club, and it actually made Balotelli a lot better as well. And then he was kind of carrying the load by himself. But I mean, Marseille, anything there? Monaco, is anybody like? It feels like no one's even talking about Monaco anymore. I mean, do they have any hope this year?
There's hope. I mean, we've got Falcao banging in 5 goals in the first 3 games. They've got a really good system of selling players, but also replacing them immediately. Yuri Tielemans coming in center midfield. They've still got Fabinho somehow.
Yeah.
Falcao again banging the goals in. So I mean, they're not off the map. There's still some hope there.
Not to mention though, they've won 15 straight in Ligue 1, which we keep talking about is maybe not that exciting. But since Ligue 1 is sick now, that's a huge achievement.
I think it's great. I think it's great that they've won 15 straight, but like nobody really gives a shit about what happened last year because that team is not the same. I mean, this year is what matters, and yeah, Falcao, they're doing really, really well, but like I don't even think PSG's even really hit their strides. I don't see them being able to go like punch for punch with
Strong second for them.
Millions of French
So
people care what
quality,
happened
strong,
last
strong second.
firm second place. But guys, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Is Ligue 1 finally on the map because of Neymar, because of Mbappe and all these things, or are we just blowing a lot of smoke and it's just going to turn into a one-horse race and eventually just everybody talks about Neymar and Mbappe and those types of things and stays that way? So get down in the comments, let us know, and until next time, guys, we'll see you guys later.